please say your name for the camera?
Bjorn Austraat.
And Bjorn, you are one of the many fabulous panelists tonight. How did you get involved, and how did Lauren contact you to be a part of this?
So Lauren and I know each other from the Cal Alumni Club of New York, and so that's the connection was created there. And I work for IBM and have to do a lot with AI and machine learning, so that's why it was a natural fit for the panel tonight.
Absolutely. And how long have you been with IBM?
6 years. And I was previously in Watson, currently work for a large financial services institution as my only client, and before I was in Watson and before in GBS, the strategy consulting branch of IBM.
Very nice. So you've definitely had your finger in multiple different aspects of your job, would you say?
Yeah, nice. Absolutely.
So tonight is a really interesting theme, talking about AI and technology in the job force, and what people can prepare for, but also expect. We just had Oliver talking to us previously about how the jobs are declining for people because AI is taking over. What's something you're noticing, like in the trend of tech and jobs?
Well, it's like any disruption, there is some decline. So certain jobs, or I would say jobs that are mostly tasks, are being automated away. This is true for any technology, including AI and machine learning. And there's transformation of jobs, so that AI is augmenting people and replacing certain parts of their job, but freeing up resources to do other things that are potentially more human and more interesting for a larger duration, or for more time. More mental cycles are available now for those parts of your job. So like any other automation or technology, yes, there are changes. Yes, some of them are not very pleasant. But in aggregate, I think it's a positive force, as it's creating a ton of new jobs that are very high quality jobs, typically, high earning potential jobs. And what I think is different about AI and machine learning is that the transformation is much faster than other technologies I've seen. So the web, the internet transformation and revolution was, in my estimation, if you looked at between 1995, if you were a travel agent in 1995, and then you looked again in the year that Google was incorporated in 2004, so 10 years later, your life had completely changed, your world had completely changed, because kayak has taken over, and online travel booking was a thing now, and so on. With AI, I think that's moving 2 to 3 times as fast. So it is more difficult to keep up. It is more disruptive in that way. But also the benefits are accruing much more quickly. So I'm quite bullish and optimistic about the labor situation in general. And the many professions are already being transformed. And there is a huge demand for certain new skills, less demand for older skills, lower, I would call them low yield cognitive skills. And what's also net new is that there are new professions that are impacted now. So if you were a radiologist, for example, there was really no automation, or very little automation in your job before, but now there are systems that aggressively automate away radiology, basic radiology findings. The same is true for basic legal research, basic medical research. And so that's an interesting field. There aren't any simple answers, but there are certainly big challenges, ethical, educational, professional challenges that are arising that need to be addressed, and that we shouldn't just ignore. That's also, we can't stick our heads in the sand and say it's not happening, or shouldn't happen, or we'll make it illegal. So I think that's the challenge before all of us that work in this field and users of AI and machine learning, to address that heads on.
Yeah, you bring up an excellent point, where I think for people that are fearful of job loss should look at it as you said, freeing up their time to do probably more impactful work and things that they enjoy. And I know off the top of my head, Salesforce comes to mind as a company that really helps with companies a lot in New York and all over the world, just making things easier for customers and just user experience in general. But I think that's definitely something to embrace, is, automation. When we think of that, it's very dull and dry, and typically the things we don't want to be doing anyway during the day.
And, recently there was a really interesting story that went viral. An Uber driver who has a menu of rides that he gives to his passengers. And driving as a core task will be automated, I think, shortly, right? So the Uber driver has a menu, and the menu expresses everything that's fun and creative and human about the ride experience itself. The choices are you could have a silent ride, or a creepy ride where he just looks at you in the rearview mirror, or the stand-up ride where he tells jokes, or a therapy ride. And I thought that was a genius way to really make the service differentiated in a non-automatable way. And the pillars that I see as job security driving are empathy, which is not possible to automate. Aesthetics, also very human and difficult or impossible to automate skill and task at this point. And then enlightenment. So if I have a coaching conversation with somebody that's tailored to them, then that's also, again, a machine will not likely do that, although machines are really good at delivering facts, right? So this, I would urge people to look at their jobs, the tasks within those jobs, which ones are likely to be automated, and then surround those tasks with things that are impossible to automate at this stage, at least until we have general AI, which is a long ways off, I think, and take that as an opportunity. Have the machine do the boring, repetitive tasks that are composable into a bigger, work-life experience and profession, and then focus on the things that are uniquely human that you can contribute.
I think that's a really great suggestion, and I think we will be seeing more of that.
Yes.
So what are you, other than the advancements in job and tech and AI, what currently excites you right now? It could be a company, it could be an article you saw online. What was something recently that you went, wow, that's really different and disruptive?
I think that there's one of the most interesting areas of machine learning to me are called GANs, and those are generative adversarial networks. And those, in plain English, means machines competing with other machines, and one machine will make an image that's fake and challenge another machine to say, can you tell if it's fake or not? And so the machines train each other at lightning speed. Recently, GANs have been used for a number of different tasks, and some of them very creative, like removing the background from a picture, or telling or generating basically fake prose about a topic. And what I find so exciting about this is that there was in the clip of the pace of change. So there was this news article, I think it's a few weeks ago now, that there was this big concern about a machine learning system that was able to create fake text, just auto-generate text, and it was very hard to distinguish from human authored text. And the concern was that you could make fake news or fake scientific articles or fake anything. And so the original inventors of that algorithm did not actually release the full algorithm into the wild because they were so concerned about the negative repercussions. Just today, this afternoon, MIT lab, Watson lab at MIT came up with a new machine that now can tell if the text has been fake generated by another machine. So that's weeks, right? So these the algorithms are playing catch up with each other, and every time there's supposedly something very scary or disruptive, within weeks or months, there's another solution that makes that a moot point. So I think it's not an arms race, it's an innovation race, and it's very, very fast. It does currently on a nation state and geographic level does create winners and losers. But I think the barriers of entry to start, let's say, a machine learning lab in a Midwestern state is getting smaller and smaller due to cloud infrastructure, rentable, high-performance hardware, and so on. So I think there's also opportunity to kind of even that playing field a little bit for talent across the country and across the globe.
Very nice. That is very exciting, and that's something I hadn't even heard about too. And I'm sure tomorrow or the next few days we'll have something else come up in the news that is an even newer innovation. Well, that's very exciting, and I'm also excited to hear you speak tonight. So best of luck. But if you want us to follow you on any social media or check out a website or something, feel free to plug anything right now.
I publish most of my little thoughts on LinkedIn. So if you find me on LinkedIn, and that will be hyperlinked, I'm sure.
LinkedIn's great. I love LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Great. Okay. Thanks.
Best of luck. Alrighty. So I will just have you say your name.